Hi, friends. Is this thing on? I think it is. Oh my goodness. Hi. My name is Michelle, and welcome to the Bare and Brutal podcast. This is episode 1. It has been a long time in the making. I literally have been putting this off for no reason, really. I I guess I'm really nervous. I don't know if you can tell. I'm hella fucking nervous. Literally was trying to find all of these different excuses as to why I can't hit the little red recording dot on this recording program right now. I was like, oh shoot, I have to pee. Let me go pee. So I went to pee. I just said pee like 5 different times. And I was like, wait, let me go fill up my little knockoff Stanley cup because we're balling on a budget and I can't afford a real Stanley. I was like, let me go fill that up with water because your girl has to stay hydrated because I'm going to be talking, right? So I went to go fill up my water. And then I'm like, shoot, do I want to record myself like with my phone, in case I want future content opportunities? So I'm like trying to figure out how to record on my phone in the right angles. I'm like, shoot, my freaking double chin, is she really out there? Yeah, and then I sneezed. So I'm like, okay, I gotta go blow my nose. And yeah, so now I'm here. I clicked the big scary red dot and we're recording. Welcome to the first episode. I pressed the button, so there's nothing I can do now. People kept asking me when I was going to publish my first episode because my dumbass thought that I could get it done in August. For those of you who don't know, my birthday was August 30th, and I think I let the public and all my friends and family know that I was going to do this podcast. I think maybe like August 1st or like the end of July. And I was like, coming soon to a podcast platform near you in August. And literally when I put that, the date I had in mind was August 31st. Because I was like, I'm going to give it a whole month. I didn't say when in August. Y'all thought it was going to be like August 2nd? No. I was thinking August 31st. And then I didn't do that because August ended up being the most busiest time of my life. So many people's birthdays, everybody and their mama decided they wanted to be born in August, including myself. And just so many things, events were happening in that month. So yeah, I didn't get it out in August. But it is it's September 13th. It actually just turned September 13th. It is midnight right now. And I hit record and I did it. And we're here. So thank you for tuning in. The title is Bare and Brutal Podcast. I guess I should explain what the title is and why and how it came about. I initially wanted to call this podcast The Candid. I had this blog that I created back in COVID. And if you know me, you know that I just love writing and I love reading. And I also ramble a lot and I have a lot to vent about and journal. And so back in COVID, I mean, everybody was going through it, but I was really going through it. And I just needed an outlet to express all of the things that were going on in my mind, in my life. So I created this blog. I made a little cute little website, and it was meant to be this space where I could just vomit, word dump all of my crap in one single space. And I wanted to be vulnerable and I wanted to be raw and real. And I ended up writing, I think, maybe 3 articles, and then I stopped and I never kept up with it. So this kind of came about probably around March, April of this year. And I was thinking about how that that blog just kind of fell off. Like I never kept up with it, but I still really, I guess, have been craving. That's not a good adjective. Been wanting, desiring a space where I could do the same thing. Like have a space where I can be vulnerable and share my thoughts on things. And yeah, so I love listening to podcasts. And I just thought, how about I take that idea and instead of written form, I turn it into just me talking, because everyone loves to hear themselves talk. So that idea of a podcast came about in March, and so I started thinking about what I wanted to name it, and obviously the idea of being candid and raw was already in the mix, and so I thought, oh, Call Me Candid is one podcast I know from Haley Fam, and I just thought, oh, the Candid. But that's also a really freaking basic name, and everybody already had a podcast that had something to do with being candid. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be different. And then I tried to find a handle for the Candid, and I'm very, very specific. I'm very, very, like, to the T. I didn't want any, like, punctuation. I didn't want any, like, underscore action happening. I just wanted the Candid Pod. And of course, that was already taken because it's the most basic name ever. I went as far as DMing that account because it didn't look active. I would DM them, like, "Hi, I'm so and so. I'm trying to create a podcast. I was wondering if you would be willing to, you know, give me your handle." And of course, no response. And then I took it a step further, and I even went through Instagram. I like went through Meta, and I tried to plead my case to get their account basically removed so that I could have the handle. And that was a long shot by far. So after all of those links, I was like, you know what? I should just cut my losses. Not that I even lost anything to begin with. And I was like, maybe it's just not meant to be. Maybe this is a sign that I'm just working too hard for this to work out. So that's when I started to see what other kind of names I could create. And so I played around with some things. I still wanted, the mission behind this podcast to be a place where I can be honest about things, candid, raw, unfiltered, vulnerable. Like I listed all of these adjectives and, and things I wanted the podcast to be. And what stuck with me was honesty and vulnerability. Those are like the main, things, my bread and butter. And so I'm playing around with a thesaurus. I'm looking up synonyms, and the word bear stuck out to me. And I'm an alliteration girly. I love alliteration. So like, hey, I want to find another B word. So brutally honest came about. I was like, I want to be brutally honest. And I'm thinking like, okay, I'm gonna be vulnerable, like so vulnerable, like bare ass vulnerable, And thus we have the birth of Bare and Brutal. And that was its origin story. That took a lot longer than I thought it would to explain. But yes, that is how Bare and Brutal was born. And I guess if you're wondering what the mission or purpose behind this podcast is, in a nutshell, it is a space where I am going to be bare ass vulnerable and brutally honest. If I could, I'm trying to try out this little slogan Um, it's a space where we could bare our feelings and be brutally honest. Shout out to Bree for, you know, giving me that idea a couple months ago. If you're listening, thank you so much. Bree's a good friend of mine. We met up one day at BJ's. We were just catching up on life, and I'm like telling her about this idea I have for my podcast, and I'm literally explaining to her exactly what I just said, like the mission behind this podcast. And I said, "Bare as vulnerable," and we all laughed, and she was like, she literally just spit out what I just said, a place where you can bare your feelings and be brutally honest. And I was like, wow, that is amazing. And she was like, yeah, write it down. And I wrote it down. So here we are. Thank you, Bree, for your amazing brain. I'm still so nervous, y'all. I don't know if you can tell. But yes. So, purpose, origin story. Maybe I can talk about who I am, because yeah, who am I? Like, who's the host of Bare and Brutal? Hi, it's me, Michelle. Last name Mirza, middle name Lily. I don't know if that was necessary for you to know, but there you go. I just turned 24 at the end of August. I am a former teacher. I actually resigned this last school year, at the end of last school year. That's another story that I'll probably get into on a later episode. So, if you want to tune in to that, I will definitely be touching on my experience as a former teacher. But yes, that's me. I am figuring out my life right now. This is kind of my little passion project, if you will. And yeah, just something I wanted to try out, see where it takes me. I only really anticipated my friends and family to be listening to this. So if you are not part of said friends and family, hello, welcome. I'm excited for y'all to get to know me and for this to, I don't know, go wherever. I don't really have any expectations. That's a lie. that that's a lie. I have so many expectations. Yeah, I'm just a person who holds herself to high expectations. And I guess my hopes for this podcast is just for people maybe to relate to what I have to say. I feel like there are a lot of universal human experiences that I have experienced thus far, and I hope that the things that I have to say and share, my thoughts, they can relate to you in some way, make you laugh in some way, make you cry. I don't know. I am 100% probably going to cry, because it's just bound to happen. Like, it's inevitable. But yeah, what else do I have to say? Oh, gosh. Touching on expectations. Why did it take me so fucking long to record this episode, to even start? I would have to say it stems from my expectations with things. I, as a person, just have a preconceived idea of how I want things to go. I'm very, very much a perfectionist. I am a Virgo, if you're into astrology like that, or if you know the characteristics of a Virgo. I'm just really type A in that sense. Like, I want things to be perfect. I don't want to do things until I'm appropriately prepared for said thing, whatever it is. And so, yeah, like textbook perfectionist. I don't want to do something or start something until I'm like 125% prepared for all different scenarios, and then I will start doing the thing because I don't want to suck at it. Like, I don't want to be bad. I want it to not fail. And so I do everything I can in my power to research and prep and do whatever it is so that I have the best odds possible, which is just completely fucking unrealistic if you think about it. And that's kind of the realizations I made when it hit my birthday, and I was like, fuck, like it was the week of my birthday, and I was so stressed out because I had all these expectations for myself. I was like, I'm supposed to be reading this big ass book with my my boyfriend's brother. It's a little story. But anyway, I told him I was going to read this book with him. I read like 2 chapters, and we were supposed to finish the book at a certain deadline, and we're going to discuss it. It was supposed to be a real cute thing, okay? I did not keep up with that. I did not read it like I said I would. And I pride myself on being a person who's reliable and who does the things that she says she will. And she did not perform. Like, I did not produce. So there was that. I was like, fuck, how do I read 500 pages in 1 hour? Like, how do I get that done today? And then on top of that, I had this big cloud looming over me because I knew I did not do shit with my podcast, and everyone's asking me, and it's about to be the end of August in 2 days. I had a whole like birthday trip thing planned, and I'm a crazy ass planner. I have control issues, and I did not want to delegate, even though everyone said to. So there's that, and just so many things were happening, and I just realized that I needed to release myself from these expectations. The fact was, I am not Superwoman, and I could not get all those things done. And I procrastinated this whole thing. So, yes. So if you are a perfectionist, I think I have realized that my perfectionism has been holding me back. Sometimes it is great. I'm very detail oriented. You know, if you are a perfectionist yourself, we love to, you know, pay attention to those minute details, and we get the things done, and they're like pristine and they're awesome. But also, you probably stress yourself the fuck out the entire process. And for me, it's really been holding me back lately. The root of all of my anxiety and like all this like putting things off and whatnot, it's coming from my fear of failure. Ooh, we're getting deep. Ooh, we're a little uncomfy. But yes, fear of failure, definitely. Definitely a root of a lot of the things that I do in my life. But I've realized that sometimes you just gotta fucking do it, you know? Because the reality is that life is really unpredictable, and there is absolutely no way for us to fully prepare for every single little thing. And that fact alone freaks me the fuck out. Like, that gives me anxiety, because I'm like, what? You're telling me I can't prepare for every single thing in my life? What? That's crazy. But yeah, realizing that this fear shows up a lot in my life as of late, or like forever, ever since the beginning of my time. I can think of so many ways that the fear of failure has shown up in my life. Like, for example, I Just recently started my fitness journey because I want a fat ass. And I won't get into it too much, but I haven't had the best relationship with exercise because I had an eating disorder. And I didn't want to start working out because I was afraid of relapsing with my eating disorder and my history of using exercise in an unhealthy way and just a way to like punish myself. That was rooted in fear. I was afraid of relapsing. So I didn't even try. For years, I just was like, I think I just need to focus on healing. I need to focus on healing my relationship with food before I can even begin to think of exercise. But that was also really unhealthy for me too. Like, you just need to move your body sometimes, What else? I didn't want to change my major back in college because I was afraid that I would do it and then not be interested in that thing either. I started off majoring in psychology in college. Literally took three years because I was gonna graduate early. I had maybe 6 to 9 hours, which is like 2 or 3 classes left before I was ready for graduation. And there's a point where I was like sitting in the lecture hall for one of my classes I will never forget. And I forgot what I just said I'll never forget. I forgot what the content they were teaching, but I remember sitting in that lecture hall of the life science building at UTA and just having this moment where I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I do not enjoy this. Like, I'm just on autopilot. Like, I remember at that time I was like skipping my classes to go get food with my friends, sleeping in, not getting up to walk because I lived pretty much on campus. And I was just floating. Like, I wasn't present in the classes I was taking. And in the middle of that lecture hall, I was like, I hate this. And I have no idea what I'm fucking doing. And I remember I left that class and I started sobbing outside of the business building. Like the life science building, I walked towards the business building and I'm like sobbing my eyes out because I made the realization like, this is not for me. I don't want to do this anymore. And backstory, I had kind of fought really hard to major in psychology. My parents were typical, Asian parents, and they wanted me to major in something that would provide a lucrative career in their eyes. And at the time, I was interested in like social work and like being a licensed therapist. And, those things don't traditionally make the big bucks. So I kind of went against the grain. I was like, I remember, oh gosh, I remember being so passionate as a freaking 17, 18-year-old. I was like, no, mom, no, dad, like, this is what I'm going to do. I want to help people. I'm going to do this. And so I majored in psychology. And it was all fine and dandy until it wasn't, until I wasn't enjoying it anymore. And when that moment came, I remember just breaking down because I was like, wow, I just wasted all of that time. And now I have no idea what I'm going to do. Do I just stick it out and keep going because I invested so much into this and I fought so hard for it? And I remember calling my brother and I was like, I just don't want to be a failure. Like, I don't want to disappoint anyone. Because I literally put everything into that path, I was afraid of switching gears, switching paths because I, I was like, what if I change to a different major and I end up not liking it again? And what if I invested 3 more years or however much time, and I don't like it. And that was rooted in fear of failure again. Um, what else can I think of? Oh, I have 2 puppies. For those of you who don't know, and this is all an accident, but I didn't want to keep the 2 puppies because I wasn't quote unquote prepared, and I had no clue what I was doing. No clue how to train puppies at all, how to take care of them. I was like, I don't even have all the fucking materials. But yes, same thing. I wasn't prepared for this. And I'm not saying that you should go out and recklessly adopt, puppies like that. Definitely do your research. You should be in a place in your life where you can take care of dogs. And I was, but I was just afraid again of failing and not being prepared. And sometimes you just have to do it. And that's just not how I usually roll, Like, it even comes down to minute things, like when we're going to try new restaurants or things, I go online and I look up the menu before I go there so I'm prepared with the options at the place. And I didn't know that that was something that people don't like religiously do. I do that every single time. And it's not like, oh, let me just see what's on the menu. It's like, no, I need to see what's on this fucking menu before we park in the parking lot in front of the restaurant. Because I need to be prepared. I need to know what I might order at this new place. Yes, I spend hours reading reviews before I buy things because I'm afraid that I'm not going to like it or that's not going to work out. Like, I can't tell you how many hours I spend reading reviews on Amazon for shit. And sometimes you just gotta buy the thing and try it on. And if it doesn't work, that's why they have free fucking returns, Michelle. Oh man. Yes, it runs deep. This whole fear and anxiety thing, But preparation it's not a bad thing. Preparation by no means is a bad thing. Making an informed decision is not a bad thing, which is what I kept telling myself, right? But it got to a certain point where that preparation is really just procrastination. At that point, it was no longer serving me. At that point, if you're getting in this situation, it's no longer serving you. But now it's allowing you to lean on as a crutch, as an excuse as to why you haven't just done the thing. And that was me. This entire journey of creating this podcast. Back in March, I was so determined. I was like, I'm going to start this in the summer. I went on a little vacation, came back, bought and invested so much money in this fucking materials and everything. And literally planned out posts and created the Instagram account, told people about it, and I still didn't do it. I still kept putting it off because, I was preparing. I was preparing for whatever it was. Really, it was just me procrastinating. It was me being afraid to fail, to not be good at this. Is that fear still here? Fuck yeah. I'm literally still shaking as I'm recording this. But I don't want to lean on this perfectionism as a crutch anymore because it's just an excuse. So I am here and I'm sitting in my room. It is 12:28 in the morning. I'm wearing these bulky ass headphones that I bought off Amazon. I'm not sure that I quite love this look, Um, and I'm here and I'm doing the damn thing, and that's what matters. I hope that's what matters. So yes, that this is me. I don't really know what else to talk about right now. Sorry, just took a sip of my water. Yeah, I guess this might be the end. The end of the first episode, not the end of my podcast. Hopefully. We're not even going to say that. But yeah, I'm here. I'm going to be here. I guess I'm just going to wrap up this first episode. I don't really know where else to take this right now. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And I hope that we can all hang out and listen to me ramble on again. Stay tuned for more episodes. And I swear, now that I have done the damn thing, I will have more episodes coming out soon. I think this was a good little intro episode to the Bare and Brutal podcast. How do people end these things? Do you just I just stop now, I guess? Okay. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.